Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the shop. This is our 2013 Mitsubishi Fuso FG that I'm slowly turning into an Overland camper. Yes, I'm still waiting on injectors, but while I'm waiting, I've got another little project in this area here. As I'm sure you've probably noticed at one point or another, the door is much higher than the ground. Today, we're going to try and fix that. Now, in order to get from one height to another, obviously we're going to need a set of stairs, but we're going to go a little bit beyond that. We're going to have a deck that slides out. Now, the limitation that I have is the distance from the edge of the truck back to the subframe, which in this case happens to be 26 inches. Which means, without adding a whole bunch of complexity, the size of the deck that I'm limited to is about 26 inches out. And in order to support a sliding deck, we're going to need some structure. So we're going to attach sliders to these, and that's going to give us a deck just under 60 inches long. What does that look like? Well, it'll come out to about here, and it'll go from the front end of the door to about here. Reasonable amount of size to come out the door, have room to go back if our stairs are here, and out the front when our stairs are at the front. Now, step one is going to be mounting the slides. These are 26-inch locking slides, and the pair is rated for 500 pounds. I think that should be enough. So here's a really quick mock-up. You can see that the 26-inch slide is basically in contact with the subframe at the back, and it comes all the way out to the edge of the T-slot at the front. At the outer edge, the slide will be supported by a bracket that's mounted to the T-slot. On the inner edge, we're just going to bolt it directly to the gusset that supports the box tube, which supports the deck. The outer bracket will need to support a reasonable amount of weight, so we're going to make that out of some 1/4-inch aluminum C-channel scrap that I have. I'm going to cut it in half down the center to give me 2 angles. Now, I could use a saw to cut this in half. I could use my bandsaw, I could use my skill saw, I could use a grinder, but really, if I focus really hard, I can probably just snap it with my fingers. And as easy as that, instead of a piece of C-channel, I now have 2 pieces of angle, one for the slide at each end of the deck. First, I'm going to attach the angle to the T-slot, and for that, I'm going to pop some holes in the top flange. Now, because I'm making this out of aluminum and because it's scrap, it's actually pretty easy to just kind of will some holes into it. To mount the 2 pieces of angle to the T-slot, I'll be using hammer bolts. These go up into the T-slot, turn 90 degrees, and lock in place. Since the bolts only turn 90 degrees, it makes installing the nuts easy because the hammer bolt can't continue to turn when the nut is being tightened. With the bracket in place, I can temporarily clamp the rail in place and make sure that I can get everything level. By the way, when I say level, I mean even level with the structure. Never use an actual level because it's unlikely that the truck itself is also on level ground. But now we can see approximately how big our slide out deck is going to be, and I can mark and drill the holes through the brackets. So with the slide roughly and loosely bolted into place, some of you may have noticed a bit of an issue. That's right, these have a band that goes underneath here. However, that one is not going to work. Well, fear not, I foresaw this coming. And we have a special piece to go in behind the slide. What this means is if we take this bolt back out and drop this down out of the way, this piece will slip up here. There'll be a very small rubber block that goes in between the bottom and the top here. And on the other side, it uses the same band as these ones. Now, putting this here clearly means that the rest of this needs to be spaced out. And with the inside edge spacing itself forward, we'll just loosen the outer bracket and slip it forward the same amount. And of course, we don't want to leave this whole slide just resting on this, so I've come up with a couple of 1/4-inch spacers to give us the rest of the surface area for this to push against when it's tightened down. So now I just need to repeat everything that I did here over here, because with both rails in place, I can start to build the platform. Now, just a quick note, in installing both of these, I've pulled them both all the way out and made sure that we are square. So it's the same dimension on the front to the inside as it is at the back to the inside. And that should mean that when the drawer comes in and out, we don't get any binding. With both slides bolted in place, I know that the depth is going to be 26 inches and the length of the frame is going to be 56. Now I can cut up my T-slot extrusion that's going to hold everything else together. Now the T-slot that I'll be using for this structure is a little bit larger than what I've been using on the inside, but not quite as big as what I used for the edge of the tray. This T-slot is about 40 millimeters by 40 millimeters, and really I'm just using it because I have it. It was a surplus left over from something else. I just cut that piece completely wrong. Luckily, I cut it too long and I can cut it shorter. That's better. With the pieces cut, there's a couple different ways I could go about assembling this. I could assemble the entire platform off the truck and install it, or I can install it piece by piece on the truck and assemble it as I go. I think because of the length of this, it would be pretty difficult for me to lift the platform into place and get hardware in at the same time, so I'm going to go the route of assembling it in place. I'm going to start by putting a piece of T-slot onto each side rail, and that means I'm using T-nuts that already have the bolts in place from the other side, so I should be able to just pop it on here and then start tightening. Hopefully, it's as easy as I think. So all of those are now in the channel, and as I turn them, they should spin the nut and lock into place. Kind of feels like that was too easy. I just got to repeat the same thing on the other side. Slip them over the nuts. I'm just lining up the front corner with the edge of the slide so I know I'm in the right spot. Tighten these 4 bolts up. For now, I'm just going to do things by hand until everything is in place. All right, looks good. If you've watched this channel for a while, again, as in my last video, the next part won't be a surprise. You've guessed it, 3D printed parts. These corner reinforcing parts are essentially a supersized version of what I used on the interior furniture. They help align and strengthen the corners. This now allows me to slip the front piece into place without any fasteners and gives a nice finish to the top and bottom of the mitered corners. You know that I've printed a lot of 3D parts for this truck, but let me tell you, this game has changed. This is my new Elegoo Centauri Carbon, and holy smokes is it ever faster than my old Ender 3. For comparison, here's the Ender. Still a reliable and good machine, but a snail by comparison. The Centauri Carbon goes so fast it shakes the whole table. Being enclosed allows for new filament options such as ASA and ABS, but for now, I'm just continuing with what I have, mainly PETG. So what am I printing this time? Well, let's start with the top corner brackets you saw. Quick and easy. And the bed mounts, the part that goes behind the slide, and now some supersized gussets to hold the deck structure together. These parts are printing about 5 times faster than with the old Ender 3. The corner gussets go in the same way as the ones on the interior. Just place and tighten the bolts. That should now hold the corner nice and square and nice and tight. If you're working on a build like this and you're interested in using any of the products that I use, make sure you check out the links in the video description when you see this truck run across the screen. Also, if you want to help support the creation of content like this, go ahead and scan that QR code. It's greatly appreciated. With the two corners in, it's now time to put the other two lengthwise runners in. These two runners will install in the same manner as the outer piece and will help support the deck planks. I have to keep this one a little bit in from the back because of where this center gusset is. Once the framing is done on here, the planking will run this way so we can have a gap to go around that gusset. Now that the rear bar is in the correct position to close all the way and not interfere with the gusset, we can split the difference and put the middle bar in. And with that, we should be able to slide this in, have it lock, slide it out, and have it lock. Well, there we go. At least that is the base of a sliding deck platform to make it easier to get in and out of the truck. Now, clearly, there's still a little bit of work to do there. I need to put the deck boards on it, but the basis is there. I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.